Hey guys, Mac here with a Gamerscore milestone video for 450,000 Gamerscore. Now this is a bit of an ongoing series on my channel. I believe this is the 8th video in the series, but essentially every time I reach a bit of a milestone, I like to kind of go through my gamer card, talk about the games that I use to get the Gamerscore. We go over the games individually, we kind of talk about achievements, and just have an overall good time. Now, the most recent video came out at 400,000, and that came out in December, which means that the last 50,000 Gamerscore for me took around 5.5 months, which I believe is the fastest I've ever personally gotten 50,000 Gamerscore. And obviously what that's going to mean is that there are a decent amount of easy games on my gamer card. Now, I've always been very much a proponent of telling people to enjoy games the way that they enjoy them. And for me, recently, that has been playing a decent amount of PUBG, but then also playing some easy games and going through my backlog in order to try to raise my completion percentage. And what you'll see in my recent games is somewhat a reflection of that. I've completed a lot of games. A lot of them are going to be pretty easy. Some of them are a little more difficult, and then some of them are just kind of backlog games that have floated in and out of my life recently. I've always encouraged people to play whatever way that they enjoy. If you enjoy going for a lot of Gamerscore with easy games, I encourage you to do that. If you enjoy going for really, really hard completions, I encourage you to do that. You know, we're all here to have fun, so everyone games a little bit differently, and as long as you're having a good time, I encourage that. Nonetheless, if you'd like to follow me on Xbox Live, you can check me out. My gamer tag is on screen, Mac91. Feel free to add me and follow me if you so desire. If you want to keep up with the games I'm playing for videos, or games I'm playing for Gamerscore, it's all going to be there for you if you want to check it out. Now, we will go into the actual games that I've played recently. You'll notice that I have around 3,500 Gamerscore so far in May. And the first game at the top of my list is State of Decay 2. Which I got a chance to play early because of a review copy. I streamed the first 3 hours of this game, and I'll have that video up on YouTube soon. But within about 6 hours, I have 380 out of 1,000 Gamerscore and 33 out of 62 achievements. And for this game, it seems as though the majority of achievements can be done within one playthrough in around 25 to 30 hours. However, there is a very grindy achievement for killing 10,000 zombies. I'm not really sure if there's going to be a good strategy for that. State of Decay 2 is going to be a somewhat easy game for Gamerscore, but it may be a very tough completion. We'll see as we kind of get further, into the game's lifetime. Next up on the list is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or PUBG. I'm sure a lot of you guys who follow me see me play this a lot, and in case you're wondering how much I play it, I think it might be a good idea to show you. I'm clocked in around 20 days of game time with 1,000 games, and we're at 129 wins, which I think is actually pretty good. I'm somewhat proud of my stats. I think I'm an overall decent player. Obviously, this game doesn't have achievements yet. It will get achievements soon, and whether or not those achievements will be retroactive, meaning will I get the achievement for 1,000 kills because I have a lot of, over 1,000 kills? My guess would be that they will not be retroactive, which means everyone will start with 0 out of 1,000. Everyone will start from the exact same spot, and everyone will race to try to get achievements in it. Nonetheless, I think I'm prepared for when that game does get achievements. I think I'll be able to knock them out within about a week, I hope. Next up, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. The vast majority of these I already had in my last video. I think this game is incredible graphically. I think Star Wars fans love it, but I'm not much of a Star Wars guy. Recently, I went back to it for some easy story DLC that they added and played a couple of hours of online. 825 out of 1,045 is probably more than I would have guessed if I had to, guess how much I'd play a Star Wars game anytime. Anyways, PlayerUnknown Battleground public test servers. There are test servers, whatever, pretty self-explanatory. You can test some of the new maps, the new features on the weekends. I occasionally run that. Now, Spec Ops the Line is one of those games I was talking about from my backlog. I played this game originally in 2012 and got around 700 Gamerscore in it, and I wanted to go through the game a second time on foobar difficulty in order to get my 1,000. I have very fond memories of this game, and I played a little bit of it recently, and from what I can tell, I still enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to going back to this game and completing it on the hardest difficulty and hopefully grabbing the 1,000 gamer score. Next up, we have Descenders, a game preview game with 0 achievements, 0 gamer score. It's a weird, unique twist of like a roguelike mountain biking game where every track is like random and procedurally generated and there's upgrades and crew members. It's a very interesting game. It has a, it's a very tough game. Kind of reminds you of Trials. I'll have more to say about that, I think, when achievements do come out for that. Celeste, 1,000 out of 1,000. I did play through this game one time normally, and then I did use a assist mode for all the B-sides, C-sides, and, Strawberry and Crystal kind of mop-up. This game does have basically cheat codes that you can enable in the menu, and they make you invincible and all that good stuff, and you can just, plow through the game in about 4 hours if you wanted to get your 1,000. If you were to try to do this legit, it would probably take you closer to 100 hours, if not longer. There's a happy balance there for people who want to enjoy the game, but also get the 1,000 gamer score once they're kind of done enjoying it. Celeste is one of the better indie games I've played in a very long time, and I would highly recommend it if you enjoy this type of game. It will probably make my top 10 indie games of the year list, and maybe my top 10 overall games of the year list. Coenen Exiles, I don't have much to say about this. I played it for achievements, made a video about it. It's easy gamer score. If you follow the video, you'll have it done in about an hour. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This is my most played game on the Xbox. I think I'm around 800 hours. I haven't played it as much recently because of PUBG. I still enjoy it from time to time. But that is Rainbow Six. Explosion, 0 out of 1,000. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I actually filmed this on a separate... I made a video about this if you're unaware. But I filmed that video on another account because I didn't want to grab the 1,000 and ruin my milestone. And, it got complicated. So I decided to not get the 1,000 on my main account. It's actually the first game I'm going to play after this video. It took me 20 minutes on my first attempt. I think it'll take me 15 minutes on my second attempt. Some people seem to have a little bit more trouble with it. It kind of depends, I guess, on how lucky you get and how good you are at this style of game, which is a twin-stick shooter. Explosion, there you go. Destiny 2. I don't think I've unlocked any achievements since my last Destiny video. I recently played Expansion 1 and Expansion 2. They were somewhat underwhelming. Graphically, the game is incredible. Audio, art, they're incredible. But playing without a new raid to look forward to and without friends to play with, haven't found much reason to go back to Destiny 2. Although I did get a chance to visit Bungie earlier, or actually late last year, and I really enjoyed my trip there, and it was cool to see them working on it. I'm excited for the next raid and the next piece of content with achievements, but for now, Destiny 2 is going to kind of just sit there for a bit. Cube 2, I made a completed episode about this. It's a very cool first-person puzzle game. Takes you around 6 to 8 hours if you so desire. I would highly recommend it if you are into puzzles. But I don't have too much to say. If you want to hear more about it, you should check out the episode of Completed where I talked about this game at length. Super Lucky's Tale. I believe in the last video for Milestone, I had 400,000. Yeah, for the 400,000 Milestone video, I think I had 1,000 out of 1,000 in Super Lucky's Tale. But I believe it came out with 2 new DLCs, each worth 500. They take around 5 hours each, kind of depending on your coin grind, I guess. Maybe 8 hours combined. And you can get 2,000 of 2,000 in Super Lucky's Tale now if you so desire. The game also got added to Game Pass if that's your thing. Overwatch Origins Edition. Hey, all the people who say I don't play hard games. All right. Actually, I don't have all the achievements in Overwatch, but I have tried my best to keep up with some of the events. I kind of stopped. I missed last Christmas's event, but then I played all of the Retribution DLC. And I managed to grab the Complete Retribution on Expert with no incapacitations and Complete Retribution on Legendary difficulty achievements. Both of these are pretty hard. You can see their achievement percentages are pretty rare. These were fun and cool to get, and I'm happy I got them on my gamer card. Have a pretty high TA ratio if that's something you look for. Halo 5 Guardians, haven't really done much. Just enjoyed some online games recently, but gamer score and achievement-wise, nothing's changed there. Corrigan, 1,000 out of 1,000. You can get your full 1,000 in about 2 hours if you'd like to follow along with the video guide on the channel. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about this game. It's a dungeon crawler. It's somewhat competent, but somewhat boring, and it's made by one guy which is pretty admirable, but, you know, I've definitely played better games. Fortnite Battle Royale. I don't really play Fortnite Battle Royale. I played the original, like, kind of Fortnite with the base building and stuff. Got a couple of achievements. Tried the Battle Royale mode. It's just not for me. I don't have fun playing it, unfortunately, but I have nothing against people who do enjoy it. I wish PUBG did as much as Fortnite did for their community, you know? Anyways, moving on. Oxenfree, 950 out of 1,000. It's been sitting like this for the better part of 2 years. I only have one achievement left, and that is for making all the enemies in a playthrough. And I'm halfway through that playthrough, but ended up taking a small break. By the time I reach 500,000, I promise you guys I'll have 1,000 in Oxenfree, though. Here's where some of the easier games kind of start coming into play. ACA Neogeo The Last Blade 2. For all of the ACA Neogeo games on this list, I won't really have much to say. This is a fighting game, and I forget, they all blend together once you play a bunch of them. I think I've done about 15 of them. There's 60 plus of them. This one's one of the easier ones, if I remember correctly. But I would recommend that you don't waste your money on ACA Neogeo games unless you really like Gamerscore. Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut. I believe this game came out last year, but it had a small resurgence because it went on a really big sale. And I think it was like $5. And a lot of people bought it, and a lot of people started playing it. You can get your full 1,000 in, let me check how long it took me. It took me just under 4 hours, and I would say right around the 4-hour mark would be reasonable for most people. There is one skill-based achievement, and there is an achievement for grinding for about a couple hours. But overall, if you follow the walkthrough on TA, you can get Slayaway Camp done pretty quickly, and it's actually a pretty good game. Next up, we have Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, a game I would highly recommend playing if you've never played it. Play through it at least one time, enjoy it with a good pair of headphones, and make sure you are completely engrossed in the experience. You can get 900 out of 1,000 by just beating the game, and the last 100 gamer score is attained by getting all the collectibles. I do have a walkthrough on my channel for those collectibles if you so desire. Metropolis Lux Obscura, an interesting match 3 game with really weird, like, a really weird story about, like, some very adult stuff. A lot of people actually got banned off Xbox Live for sharing screenshots from this game because they're a little R-rated, to say the least. But gameplay-wise, I actually had a little bit of fun with this game. I think the achievements were also pretty easy, with me grabbing all of them in around 4 hours. And that included me fiddling around with some glitches, unfortunately. So, Metropolis Lux Obscura, a unique, arty match 3 game. Late Shift, a full motion video game from similar to the game The Bunker. I don't think it's made by the same people, but it's a similar type game. You choose like dialogue options, and the movie kind of changes based on your options. You can finish this game in around 2.5 hours if you follow a guide, although it would probably take you significantly longer if you played it normally. Far Cry 5, 1,000 out of 1,000, one of the cooler completions I've gotten in the last couple months. It took me over 40 hours, and I was lucky enough to get it a little early. I made a lot of videos, which I think a lot of people, hopefully found helpful. But Far Cry 5, I think, was an excellent game. It is in the running to potentially be my game of the year from what I've played so far. And if you haven't gotten a chance to play Far Cry 5, personally, I would recommend it. Sea of Thieves, 280 out of 1,000. Obviously, there were some pretty severe issues with the achievements unlocking in Sea of Thieves. Luckily, it does seem that a lot of them unlocked after, a patch came out a little bit later on. So I think that patch came out on the 13th of April there. And I did get some achievements. I'm only at 280 out of 1,000, but I'm at 24 out of 60. A lot of these are really, 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 really grindy. And I still think there's a significant set of achievements with a 0.00% unlock rate. Sea of Thieves is not a game that I ever think I'll get 1,000 in, but I enjoyed my time with it, and I hope that I can go back to it somewhat soon. Hopefully they add a little bit of content to get me excited to go back. Past Cure, 1,000 out of 1,000. This game did have a glitched achievement when it first came out, but they recently patched that, and you can grab the 1,000 in about 5 to 8 hours. I have around 6.5, but it shouldn't take you as long as it took me. So around 6 hours, I would say, if you want to get 1,000 and past cure. It's not a very good game. It's very overpriced and probably not worth your money. And it's average in every way. It tries to be like 8 different games at once, and it doesn't really succeed at any of them. Alteric, absolutely stay away from this game. If it's the last thing you do on Earth, don't play Alteric. It's only $5. It is easy gamer score, but it's one of the worst games you'll probably play. I did not know that going in, but once I started it, I decided I would go for the 1,000. There's one extremely hard level in the game, which I beat. Then I took a break, and when I came back, the game decided to erase my save, which it does to a lot of people. Nonetheless, you should be able to, depending on how long you get stuck on that hard level, you should be able to do Alteric in about 3 hours. It's a platformer, but I would suggest against it. A Way Out, one of the other games that I think is a frontrunner for Game of the Year. You know, I think it's going to fall a little bit short of like the #1 spot, but I really like what they did with this game. It was truly unique. It was, something I have never experienced before, and not something I'm sure I ever will experience again. All of the achievements are missable, though. So if you want to grab all of them, you will have to either play the game a second time or go through chapter select. You should be able to beat the game in around 5 to 8 hours with a friend. It is a co-op only game. You should be able to do it in about, like I said, 6 hours, maybe 8 hours if you take a little longer. And then you can mop up the 1,000 if you want. But I would highly suggest this game just for the game itself. There's actually a sale on it right now for $15 on Amazon. Spiral Splatter, another game that was easy, but it was kind of difficult, and I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's very frustrating. It takes a lot of like fine precision type skill, which, some people have more of that than others. I think it took me like 2 hours, if I remember. Actually, let's check. Took me right around the 2 hour mark. It does take a little bit of skill, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. ACA Neogeo World Heroes 2. I believe this is the PC version. I played a couple of Windows games. This was one of them, I believe. Another ACA Neogeo game. It's a fighting game. I know this is one of the easiest ones out of all of the ACA Neogeo games, though. Burnout Paradise Remastered. This was a game that I really wanted to enjoy, but after, I think I'm I don't know, maybe 12 hours in. I don't even know. Let's check. I'm around 10 hours in, and after that, I kind of just got bored with it. I got all the billboards and all of the parking garages and all of the super jumps and stuff. And that was kind of the fun part for me, was collecting all of the cool things in the open world. But the actual races just don't feel as cool as they once did when this game originally came out. Super Hot, a game that I started long ago. A game that recently came to Games with Gold. And a game that I recently made a guide for as it came to Games with Gold. But Super Hot is one of the coolest games that's come out in a long time. Very unique. If you ever play VR games, Super Hot is one of the #1 games you should play in VR that I would recommend. One-Eyed I'm never going to know how to pronounce this game. 1,000 out of 1,000 in about 40 minutes if you follow a walkthrough. A link on my, you can find it on my channel if you want. Not a great game. It's only $5, but out of all of the bad Gamerscore games, this one's not the worst. Call of Duty World War II, I think I have about 800 or 900 in the original 1,000, and then I played a bit of the first DLC, but I have not played the second DLC. The Zombies DLC #1 was actually pretty fun, but didn't find a reason to go back for DLC #2 quite yet. Tiles. This game was actually a little difficult. Hours-wise, I believe it doesn't say, but it took me, I would say, around 6 hours, maybe 8 hours. There's one achievement for doing the entire game without going back to the main menu, which can take, multiple hours, and it is a little bit skill-intensive. And then all of these percentages are wrong. Beat all the local times and all that stuff. These are actually pretty hard, and also, yeah, they're not going to be at 78. They're going to be around, the 5% mark. There's a glitch that sometimes causes some achievement percentages to show up wrong. But Tiles was a fun little puzzle game. If you have the time, you enjoy kind of puzzle games that have quick reflexes as well, you might enjoy Tiles. Deep Rock Galactic, a game preview game that I actually had a lot of fun playing, and I'm excited for it to get achievements. I'll talk more about it when it does get achievements, though. North, oh boy, what a unique game. I I have a video about this game on my channel. It's a full game walkthrough. You can get 1,000 gamer score in about 20 minutes. It only costs $5, and that's pretty much all the game has going for it. Other than those things, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. It's not very enjoyable or fun or innovative. It is very unique, but not necessarily in a good way. That's really all I have to say about North. Now, really quick, we're 20 minutes in now. Every time we do a video like this, I take a short kind of break in the middle, and I tell you guys to go to the comments and write the word boobies. And it's just to kind of see and gauge how many people actually make it this deep into the video. When I first started the series, I thought these videos were extremely boring. And this was back when I had basically, no viewers. No one cared. No one watched. And I kind of just made these videos for myself. And eventually people started watching and people started saying that they were very interested in these videos. So I kind of started including these little things where I would tell people to write boobies in the comments as a little bit of an inside joke. Feel free to join in if you'd like to. Age of Empires Definitive Edition on PC. I think this game takes around 3 hours. I'm not sure. It doesn't have tracking. I'd have to double check, but I think it takes around 3 to 5 hours. You can do all of the in-game cheats that originally worked on the original game. And you can use all those cheats to get all the achievements. It still takes quite a bit of time and understanding of the game. But it definitely cuts out on any skill or any long commitment of time. Little Nightmares, 22 out of 2,200, 22 achievements, all the DLCs completed, videos for everything on the channel. Little Nightmares is a cool game, but I don't have too much to say about it since I did talk about it in the previous video for sure. Claybook, a game preview game that does offer achievements. 1,000 out of 1,000 in, I'm not quite sure, maybe around 3 hours. Yep. It does involve a decent amount of skill, especially with the Great Escape and the Sugar Rush achievements, even the On the Edge achievement. It does have a trial. I believe you can unlock achievements in the trial, but it would take pretty good, a lot of skill for you to unlock any significant amount of Gamerscore in the trial. So if you do want Gamerscore out of it, you would need to buy the game. I believe it's $20. It's a cool, unique idea, but I don't think there's enough of a game there to warrant you to purchase this. The Station, potentially the easiest game of the year when we do our countdown at the end of the year. Sully made a full game walkthrough for it on the channel earlier this year. He took around 16 or 17 minutes to complete the game. It is a walking simulator with very little skill involved. And you'll be able to grab 1,000 in about 20 minutes with that video. Metal Gear Survive, a game that I played and surprisingly enjoyed, but it's a game that is so complicated and has so many menus that as soon as I took a break from it for 2 days, getting back into it was almost impossible because it was just so hard to remember all of the menus, items, abilities, and things that are on the map and all that good stuff. So although it was a surprisingly cool game, it's very hard to get back into. And for that reason, I never got back into it, which is why I only have 110 points. Cuphead, I was recently playing it just for a little bit of fun. I've talked about that game at length. Ruiner, I've talked about that game at length. Forza Horizon 3, I've talked about that game at length. ACA Neogeo Samurai Shodown, ACA Neogeo game that I bought for Gamerscore, or actually... yeah, it's on there. I played it, whatever. Yeah, it's more ACA Neogeo games. Dear Esther Landmark Edition. I wouldn't recommend going out and buying this game. Back in the day, it was one of the original walking simulators, but it doesn't really hold up to it doesn't stand the test of time. It has some easy gamer score. I believe it's going to take you around 3.5 hours to complete. You do have to play through it 2 full times. It's not a great game, but it's not terrible either. Dear Esther, the original walking simulator. There you go. For Honor, 830 out of 1,000. I recently went back to this game, grabbed a couple of quick achievements. But For Honor, it's rough, man. The online is still incredibly unbalanced and incredibly, it's still incredibly easy to cheese the algorithm to basically be unbeatable. So any type of 4-on-4 is not fun. And then, you know, there's the 1v1 and 2v2 duels, which are still a little bit of fun. But, you know, For Honor, I had better hopes for For Honor than what it ended up as. Steep, my #1 most underappreciated game of 2017, recently got some DLC. I've done 2 of the 3 DLC packs. The most recent one I've done is the Road to the Olympics, which I actually had fun playing. ACA Neogeo Art of Fighting, ACA Neogeo World Heroes 2, let's just not talk about it, pretend it never happened. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India recently came to Games with Gold. I started playing it with intentions to make videos about it, but the more I played it, the more I realized videos wouldn't really be all that helpful, considering you have to play the game 2 or 3 times anyways. So I kind of just decided not to make videos for it. Rocket League, I don't know why I played it recently. I don't think it got achievements anytime recently. Yeah, I guess I just loaded it up to have some fun with friends, or maybe gift an item to a friend for an achievement. Monster Hunter World, a game that really surprised me because I hate RPGs, or at least I thought I hated RPGs. But Monster World Hunter was a lot of fun. I only have 370 out of 1,000. I've played it for 40 hours. I'm Hunter rank 40 pretty much. And my time spent with this game was what I think time well spent. I really enjoyed it. It kind of opened my eyes to a new genre that I wouldn't normally play, and I had fun. Forza Motorsport 7, 750 out of 1,000. This has been, you know, a big topic on streams. If you come to the streams at twitch.tv/Macadanian Productions, this is a game that I've played quite a bit on there. I'm probably, I don't know, yeah, I'm like 70 hours in. I think some of that time's probably idle, but I have a bunch of the hard achievements, like collect 700 cars, which you got to spend like $12 million in the game to do that. I've completed a couple of the championships 100%. I've done all of the, where is it? I've done all of the endurance races and whatnot. So, you know, I'm pretty good with 750 out of 1,000. For Forza games, I usually get addicted, take a long break, get addicted, take a long break, and so on and so on. So it's very possible that right now I'm definitely taking a break from Forza 7. It's very possible that I will get re-addicted in a couple of months. Assemblance, one of the easiest games in a very, very, very long time. This game, when did it come out? It came out in January, at the end of January, maybe beginning of February. It's also going to be contending for easiest game of the year. You can get 1,000 in about half an hour, depending on how long. There's one kind of skill, luck, and timing achievement at the end that, you know, some people take, you know, 1 try and they do it. Others, it takes them 5 to 10 tries. So, kind of depends. You could, realistically, you can probably, for sure, complete this game in under an hour. Ikimu Splinters of the Dark Shard. This is the type of game that will literally make a Gamerscore or achievement hunter want to stop gaming for the rest of their life. It is probably one of the 5 worst games I've ever played, and I do not recommend it to anyone. I highly regret my time with this game, and it was a terrible decision. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, a cool walking simulator that came out on PlayStation 4 quite a long time ago, recently ported over to the Xbox One. It looks beautiful. It's somewhat interesting. It can offer you 1,000 gamer score in about an hour and a half if you do follow a walkthrough, although you won't get the majority of the achievements if you don't follow a walkthrough. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I streamed this game right at the beginning of the year. I made a completed episode about it. I quite enjoyed going back for the 1,000, although I will be the first one to admit that, like many others, I did use the veteran difficulty glitch, which allows you to play the majority of the game on any difficulty and then only certain sections on veteran. I did do Mile High Club legit on veteran difficulty multiple times, which was very fun and rewarding, but there you go, 1,000 of 1,000 Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Night in the Woods. This was a very cool game, and I've played it for like almost 4 hours, but I only have 2 achievements. It's very stingy on achievements. It doesn't offer very many, and when it does offer them, it usually doesn't offer very many points for unlocking them. It's also a game where every single achievement is secret, meaning that it is a little bit hard to sort through the list and figure out what you should be going for and what you shouldn't be going for. It's a very cool game. From what I've played, I really enjoyed my time with it. It is somewhat of a storytelling game, similar to The Walking Dead, but a little bit different. You get a lot of dialogue options, and it's very well told, very well voiced, and it's a quality game from what I've played. And even though I haven't played the majority of the game, from what I have played, I can say that I would recommend it for anyone who's at least into that genre. Maze, 1000 out of 1000. It's the game about corn that is taking over the world. It's not a very good game, but you can complete it in under 2 hours in one single sitting, assuming your game doesn't crash on you. Outlast 2, we're going to skip because we talked about it before. The Surge, we're going to skip because we've talked about it before, although I think I'm confused. Oh, well. I think I have a glitched achievement in that game, and I think it might have actually, I just think I realized it might have actually unlocked since I last played the game. I have to check, sorry. Okay, no, it hasn't. There's an achievement for dying in this game. I've died hundreds of times like you do in this game. Is very difficult, and everyone dies. And it never unlocked for me. I don't know why. Jackbox Party Pack 4. Didn't get this for Gamerscore. I just got it to have fun with some family and friends. And as we were just playing for fun, I got 250 out of 1,000. 300 out of 1,000 in Monochroma. Definitely a game I have to go back to. Albert and Otto, a game that I have a full game walkthrough for. There is a glitch that gives you an achievement that's supposed to be very hard, but it actually just gives it to everyone. For some reason, they said they were going to glitch it, patch it, but they never did patch it, and it's been available to anyone who wants at any time. You can still get the 1,000 in this game in about an hour and a half, depending on skill, and it should unlock all the hard stuff for you, even if you are unsuccessful. Assassin's Creed Origins, I don't believe I've gotten any new achievements in it. Wolfenstein 2, I don't believe I've gotten any new achievements in it since I talked about it. Although, from the recent memories I've had of playing it, it's not nearly as good as Wolfenstein The New Order. And it has some serious issues with level design and pacing. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, I don't think I've gotten any achievements in this recently. I'm not sure why it's on there. I must have just loaded it up to check something. Injustice 2. Now we're just going through a couple of games that I recorded videos with. Halo Master Chief Collection. I recently played. What did I get in this game recently? Anything, if anything at all. Yeah, nothing. All right. Well, let me actually scroll back up and figure out if I've passed the point. No, we're still... I just loaded up a lot of games, I think. Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 1. It was alright. It wasn't as good as the normal Life is Strange, in my opinion. Candleman got free DLC, which was really fun as well, which I would recommend. Let's go down the list a little bit here. Samurai Shodown 2, incredibly easy AC and Neogeo game. World Heroes, the easiest AC and Neogeo game. Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, the second easiest Neogeo game in my opinion. Black and White Bushido, a very easy game. I think I've talked about it before. Mr. Pumpkin Adventure, when did I complete this? All right, we're getting close. We're getting close to when I unlocked 400,000. Mr. Pumpkin Adventure, I have a video by Sully on the channel for a full game walkthrough. I believe it's about 30 minutes long. You can grab the full 1,000 in 30 minutes if you so desire. Chromagun was also easy, but I think it was around the 4 to 5 hour mark. Assembly was very easy around the 2 hour mark, but you will have to follow a guide of some sort. Echoes of the Fae took me about an hour and a half, I believe, following a written text walkthrough. I initially planned to film a video of it, but I kind of changed my mind. Remembered or whatever this game's called. Very easy 1,000 you can grab in about half an hour probably, depending on a little bit of skill, but not very much at all. Air Guitar Warrior, easy 1,000. I did it in 2 sittings. It takes about 3 hours. It's actually a somewhat fun game, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. From what I remember, though, it's somewhat expensive, so it's hard to recommend. But if you can get it for cheap, it's actually not that bad. Paladin, 1,000 out of 1,000. One of the easiest games from last year, if not the easiest. It was pretty close to the top spot, but it didn't actually quite make it. 35 minutes, 1,000 out of 1,000. Not much skill involved. There you go for Paladin. ACA Neo Geo Burning Fight. It's an ACA Neogeo game. It's one of the harder ones, but I personally didn't really struggle much with it. Decay the Mayor, 1000 of 1000. We have a video up on the channel. Sully made that video happen. He did a great job and made the achievements in this game take less than an hour. Dream Break, 1000 of 1000. An easy game that takes around under 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half if you find a good resource to follow. It has one achievement that, if I remember correctly, does involve a little bit of skill, but not very much. It's a unique game, but I don't know if I'd recommend it necessarily, but it's definitely, it's definitely one of the easier games that I've played. And then last but not least, we have Hitman, which is what we used to get our 400,000 milestone in our last video. So those are all the games that I've played recently in order to get the last 50,000 gamer score on my gamer card. Some of the games like Edith Finch, Flint Hook, Injustice, and Resident Evil were just games that I reloaded, and so they kind of filtered back to the top, even though I didn't earn any achievements in them. From what I counted, I believe in the last 50,000 gamer score, I have completed 44 or 45 games, which I think is pretty good for someone like me who doesn't necessarily take completions all that seriously. I'll be doing a couple of easy 1000s to kind of, get a little bit of a boost towards 500,000. Fingers crossed I can get to 500,000 by the end of the year. You never know. I might do it. I might not. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you would like to follow me on Xbox Live, my gamer card or gamer tag is on screen, Maca91. Feel free to follow me. You can subscribe to this channel for more info about achievements and stuff. You can check the link for Amazon credit for Xbox Live if you'd like to buy some of the games we discussed. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been my pleasure to talk to you for the better part of 36 minutes, and I hope to see you soon. Special thanks to the amazing people on Patreon who support the show regularly, and I'll talk to you soon, like I said. See you next time. Peace!